WTF! So, we actually have Art back here on the show for WTF. Good to see you again, sir.
It's good to see you.
We had to have a fill-in for you since you weren't here the last couple of times.
Well, the news was saying, don't leave the house, don't leave the house.
When have you ever listened to that?
Well, true. But the news, I'm like everyone else that, voted a certain way. I listened to what the news said.
Oh, yeah, the news is never right. So, fake news! Today's WTF.
I do not know what this WTF is.
I know, and that's the great part about it. But it actually ties into a Disney film. All right? Oh. So the Disney film that it actually ties into is Pinocchio. Have you seen Pinocchio?
Yes, sir.
All right, what is your favorite part of Pinocchio? What's the most memorable part of Pinocchio?
I don't know. It's been a long time.
It's been a long time since you've seen Pinocchio?
Yeah.
Did you forget Pinocchio?
Yeah, I think it was swallowed by a whale or something, right?
He was swallowed by a whale. And
I liked it when he lied.
It's amazing that you actually bring that up because that is what today's WTF is about.
Getting swallowed by a whale?
Getting swallowed by a whale. So a couple in Avila Beach, California.
I met some really big women.
I didn't
know what I mean.
Well, you're not a whale, sir. A couple in Avila Beach, California, which is the northern part of California. A Julie McSorley and a Liz Cotriel. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your guys'
Shout out to them either way.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you for watching.
We're out kayaking on the water.
This is not how you kayak. Just
no, that is not.
This is
first and foremost, I am black, so I don't kayak. So when I do this, that's me doing kayaking.
You kayak!
So they were actually out kayaking to watch the humpback whales in the water. While they were doing that, a school of fish happened to surround their kayak, and a humpback whale comes up and swallows their kayak. They end up in the mouth of a humpback whale.
Wow.
First thoughts before I finish the rest of the story.
So, so years ago,
you ended up in the mouth of a humpback whale?
Well, she was a large woman.
I mean,
so years ago, I was in Mexico, and I went. I grabbed a kayak, and I wanted to watch the sunset. And
are you for real that you got into a kayak?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
I got into this kayak, and I start going on the kayak, and we're in this cove.
Okay.
Right, and as I start going, I'm basically at the point of where you're no longer in the cove and now you're in the ocean. Okay, and I started realizing that the current was taking me, right?
Okay.
And I started getting freaked out because the sun was setting.
And how you're gonna be out in the middle of nowhere?
Yes. I was like, oh crap, and I can only see the lights from the little village really far away.
Once again, this is why black people don't kayak.
So. But while I was there, I got lost in the moment because when I was there, a pod of dolphins passed by, right?
Oh, okay. Well, that's cool.
Yeah, a pod of dolphins. But I just realized, like, I am really deep in this freaking water.
The dolphins are out there.
Yeah, dolphins. There's a pod of dolphins, sun setting. Oh, shoot. What if something would, like, just tip me over?
Like a humpback whale?
Like a humpback whale, right? And I kayaked as fast and as hard as I could back to the shore.
Back to the black people on the beach.
and then you're telling me this. I can only imagine, like, okay, how far did they go?
So where they were actually kayaking at, there is actually a bunch of whale watching that happens out there.
Kayaks or boats?
So they actually do kayaks and paddle boats.
Okay. So
it is a thing that's actually done here at this particular beach. It's actually set up for you to go out there and watch them. Normally, you don't end up in a school of fish, and a humpback whale comes up to basically like swallow your boat itself. The two women that were in the kayak that were in the humpback whale's mouth, because I can't say
were they in a two-person kayak?
They were in a two-person kayak. Yeah. So they weren't swallowed because the throat of the whale is very small. Because
was it a sit in or a sit on?
It was you know what? I'm gonna put the video up because I just read the story. I actually hadn't watched the video because people keep telling me it's amazing. I was gonna wait to do it later, but the throat of the humpback whale is very small because they only eat small fish and krill.
Yeah.
So it wasn't big enough for them to actually get the whole.
Well, yeah,
kayak
I was wondering because it's not like a A humpback whale is big, but they don't eat large.
Yeah, they don't eat large things. So
Yeah.
it was one of the things where it was more scary than it was life-threatening.
But still, that's scary as hell.
I wouldn't want to be in the mouth of a humpback whale. I know Pinocchio did it, and I don't want to do that at all. You're 20. Hey, what?
Been in the mouth of a humpback whale.
We don't need to go further on that one. So, so with that being said, the two women actually survived the event. Some passersby on other boats came and helped them out. They ended up falling in the water from the whale's mouth. They ended up with little to no injuries.
Okay.
They said the most thing that happened is that it was very traumatic. Anytime that you're in the mouth of somebody, it's very traumatic.
A whale isn't somebody.
Not always.
Unless she's a really large woman. My mom's half German, half Jewish, half Armenian. That's 3 halves. She's a big woman.
So once again, they basically survived unscathed. The only thing that they said was one felt it was very traumatic because they were underwater and stuff like that. She lost her keys.
One, you don't take your keys. You don't take your phone.
The other woman ended up with a shirt full of fish.
So she went fishing.
She went fishing. She went fishing.
She went skydiving. She went whale watching.
That's not the song we would sing for this.
Okay. You got the touch.
That's the song we would sing for this. Last thoughts, Art?
Look. First of all, let's just get something straight.
Okay.
If you're gonna go whale watch, and you're gonna
I won't be doing,
and if you're gonna go whale watch, and you're gonna go through something like this, 2 things you need to do.
All right.
1, have a freaking GoPro.
Oh, there's video. I'm gonna post the video.
Yeah. Okay. Is it GoPro video?
It's not GoPro.
No, he's not.
Oh, have a freaking GoPro.
Okay.
Because
if you're gonna see the inside of the whale's mouth,
if you're gonna be doing white people crazy stuff,
black people on the beach.
Yeah. And the Mexicans that work in the restaurant.
By the way,
they don't have time to
black
go to the
people
beach.
don't live in Northern California.
We're coming into the country.
So
Track and swim
have a
together.
GoPro.
Go have a GoPro.
Okay. Well, I just want to see some, and
Some whale porn?
Yeah, some whale. They were.
Some whale deep throating.
It was a large couple. Okay, so have a GoPro, because this is where a GoPro would have been so freaking awesome, right?
Speaking of whale penis.
All right, take us home.
Second of all, what I'd like to also see,
All right.
is if you're gonna go through all this, I want to see some scars. I want to see some
So you wanted them to get some type of mutilation?
Yeah, something. So here's
something
the deal.
that can tell the story.
So
It's like
here's
you
the-
see this here. I was swallowed by a humpback whale.
So my daughter and I were having a conversation one time, and
About a humpback whale?
we were having a conversation, and everyone in my family knows that I like doing all these crazy dumb races, right? Any type of race that that's odd and different, I want to try. So one of the races I want to do is called the Norseman Challenge, right?
Right.
And so this is in like Finland or Norway. And so what they do is they drop you off. It's in the wintertime, and they drop you off on this boat, and then you have to swim 2.4 miles to the shore, and then you ride 112 miles up a mountain, right? But there's this really cool picture because there's the guy, and it's cold, so he's in his full wetsuit, everything, and he's swimming. And in the far back, you see an orca, right? And I'm like, man, how would it be so cool? And so we're having this conversation, and my daughter goes, well, Dad, like, what if it just eats you? I'm like, man, wouldn't that be so freaking awesome? That if I died, at least, how did he die? A freaking whale took him down. And then, as opposed to, how did he die? Well, he was there, and he was taking a shower, and he slipped in the shower and broke his neck. Well, how'd they find him? Well, they found him butt naked, crack up in the air with a broken neck in the shower.
No, I don't want to be. Look.
So if I'm gonna die, I'd rather die like doing one of my crazy things than just like an everyday.
Exactly.
On a funny side note, my daughter, like a week later, I get a phone call and she said, Dad, what happened? I said, what happened? I busted my knee. I said, what? She was taking a shower at her mom's, and she reached out of the shower to grab something and slipped and then fractured her patella.
And she died in the shower?
So she fractured her patella. I just said that. So if I'm going to fracture my patella, I'd rather fracture my patella doing something crazy.
With a whale. All right. So in the wise words of Dave Chappelle from Robin Hood Men in Tights, I want to be the first brother to die from Half Baked. I want to be the first brother to die from a crossbow. So with that being said, I want to have a regular death. I don't want to be dying from something like out of the ordinary. I want to live my life. Yeah, very boring. But you know what? I will live a long time, and I will not have to worry about explaining to people why I was doing such a stupid thing before I died. So
you're gonna explain to them why you lived? You're gonna explain to them why you lived such a long time when you died?
Well, in my will. Whatever. Whatever. So, if this is the first time that you're actually stumbling across the channel, we always ask, why'd you start with WTF?
Why'd you start with this one?
Yeah. There are way better things that we do on the channel, way more interesting things that we do, more things that tend to be more research, more like effort put into this.
Valid or...
and maybe stuff that doesn't deal with death by random act. Please make sure you subscribe as well as click the notification button so that way you're aware of all the other videos that we do on the channel. And my Wakanda flag has just been knocked down.
Don't forget to follow us, like us, do all that good stuff.
That is great. So for Manny and Carla sitting here on the sideline having a random conversation. Yeah.